Hey everybody, it's Cinnamon Cootie, your art Sherpa, and today is day 4 of 13 days of Halloween. We are fully into craft season. It's been a really great creative game, and today we are really bringing it with Wednesday Addams. That's right, this is a fantastic Margaret Keane, Frida Khalo inspired mashup of Wednesday Addams, because I just couldn't cram enough things into a topic while we're painting live every day for Halloween. Now today I'm going to show you how to get this nice background. We're going to talk about the look of this painting, and we're going to go in real close as we go, and you're going to see little pops of red, and I'm going to show you how you get that look. That's a very popular look in art. If you are painting inexpensive paint with me today, economy paint, which there is absolutely nothing wrong with watching your pocketbook, the change I'm going to want you to make is when we paint the whole background red, you're going to go ahead and skip ahead to putting in your Wednesday and paint around so you retain the white of the canvas. And I'll talk about that again. How are we today, John?
Very good. Everyone is super excited for Wednesday.
Because we just called it Wednesday on the calendar. Oh, if you check the description below, that disembodied voice is John.
Hi.
He tracks me, all my cameras, and reads questions and comments during these live shows, and I cannot do the show without him. In the description below, you're going to see a list of materials and links to the traceable, because, not everybody draws, but a lot of people paint, and also to the full calendar of Halloween art. So not only is the schedule of 13 days of Halloween leading all the way up to our pumpkin carve, but Halloween paintings that I have done, Halloween past. Because I've kind of rocked this holiday before.
We like this holiday. We do. We enjoy
I really
it.
like everything in craft season.
Yes.
Really, the minute craft season hits, which in my opinion is October 1st, it's on.
It's
like
just
Donkey
on.
Kong.
Is it just?
Get your glue guns and let's go. All right, so she is Frida Khalo inspired, but for those of you who express concern, our Wednesday is not just wearing flowers. These are Helleborus, which are exceedingly poisonous.
Oh.
So she's being super true to self.
I see.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okie dokie. All right, so here's my traceable for when I do this later, and I'll show you how I get that done, my little tricks and tips for that.
We got some wishes there on the canvas today.
I do have some wishes, and I'm going to add one. Amanda Little is wishing that her little brush has a very successful brain surgery, and we all wish for that as well. And just that they come out of that and everything is really good and the whole family is just like back to being themselves soon. Amy has a wish to heal and feel better, which I share with Amy, as does Felicity, a speedy recovery. And I would like to add a wish that planet Earth would just give peace a chance.
Yeah.
Just a chance, planet Earth.
And
just the whole planet. Let's all just give that a go, because it could be fun to do that for a while. I'm just saying, just to change it up.
if we could throw one more in there for Gail's dad, that'd be awesome.
Definitely Gail's dad. Oh, and then there's another one, which is that we all don't give up hope on things that will get better. Let's keep our hope. Just don't give up hope. Feel how we got to feel right now, but let's just not give up hope that things can get better. And I can get better and recover from my cold. I'm drinking lemon water and honey today. Ooh.
That sounds nice.
Now I'm going to start by actually painting a whole ground, a solid color on this canvas.
Okay.
Like you do.
Like you
In this
do?
case, I'm going to use this fluid cadmium red medium hue. You can use any red paint you have. Any red. I like this red. It really works for me in the look. Right? That's what I'm going for. And you can tell I used this one before because it's all stained. And I'm going to use a number 30 Bright, ArtSherpa Bright. And I'm going to just load that up. I'm not even going to worry about water or anything. See how I pull it out and then flip and pull it out and flip? That's how I get so much paint into my brush. And I'm going to paint this whole canvas with a solid field of red. Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how fun it is. It's fun for me. I find that really relaxing. The reason I'm doing this...
Could we also get a wish there for Bonnie? She's had a
Yes.
little wish there that's come in there. So
What's the wish?
For her, she has a tumor that she has to have taken a look at too. So we're gonna send some wellness for Bonnie.
More
there.
healing to Bonnie. Is this Bonnie Green?
Bonnie M.
Bonnie M. Oh, hey, Bonnie.
So I just
Tons of healing. I put a heart around your name, sweetheart.
Yeah.
All right. All the Bonnies everywhere could just be well. That would be great.
Well, we'll just put hearts around all of the Bonnies.
All the Bonnies are hearted. All of them.
Especially Bonnie M today.
And especially Bonnie M today. All right. So, I am just going to paint this whole canvas with this red paint. And now I particularly like cadmium myself. Because of the saturation of the color. There's some innovations coming out of some paint companies now that are non-cadmium, which you're welcome to use. Any red, you could use Peril red here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you could use Naphthol red. You could be like, no, it's too bright. I want a grimmer red. You could do a crimson then. So just don't feel too limited. Again, if you're painting an inexpensive paint, you're going to transfer your image on or draw it on and paint around the figure because your paint will have trouble covering the red. I'm painting, a full heavy-bodied pro paint, so I can get this look really easily. Well, as easily as painting a canvas will give me.
That's pretty easy.
Painting this all in. Dude, this is how I get red all over myself, just so... And I like to do 2 coats of this. And I think regardless whether you're painting economy or pro paint, I don't know what to call it, pro paint. Let's say highly pigmented paint, because I think anybody can use it. Highly pigmented paint, just that 2 coats of red will look better and smoother and more finished. Because can you see all the streaking?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that look, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry it. I did this on the last one, and I'm going to do 2 coats.
2 coats.
I'm living big.
Okay. While she's doing that, I would normally put on the bubbles right now and totally throw on celebration stuff, but we found that sometimes the bubbles mess up the finish when she's first getting it. But what I will say is thank you guys for all coming and joining us today. We've already got over 300 people here in the room and just celebrating painting and having a good time and having a wonderful Wednesday. It's sort of we're not only are we double Sherpa, we're double Wednesday. It's one of those days. So thank you guys for coming and being part of our family and our tribe. We really love having you here. We love painting with you, and I can't wait to see all of your Wednesday paintings come up. So please share those up on social media. Post them up on our website. Post them up on Facebook and the Instagram and the Twitters.
And the Twitter?
The Twitter.
Actually, I'm getting my... I used to say I don't have a very good Twitter game, but my Twitter game is getting good.
We were celebrating being 300 while you were away.
Are we 300?
We are 300.
Are 300 brave souls willing to paint Wednesday Addams? I love you, because that's why I made her the hardest painting, because she's scary.
She's not scary. She's so cute and diminutive. You would never see her coming.
The blackness in her heart is known throughout universes. I'm not a fan or anything. I didn't at all relate or anything in my youth.
So you're going to be putting another coat there on this.
Do you know what broke my heart?
What's that?
That Honey didn't know who Wednesday was.
I know. You sent her right in to watch this.
I was like, you go watch this show. She's like, Mom, it's black and white. I'm like, this is education. Can't just be learning the maths and the geographies. So I'm loading back up again, and I'm going to go ahead and give this a second coat. And I think what you're going to find is whenever you're doing a field of paint color like this, one of the things that's going to be important is 2 to 3 coats of the paint.
Yeah.
To give it just a very smooth finish. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of products you could be using, but I think that that's just something that will. And you can see that the second coat just really deepens it. I know, living large with all that paint. But you gotta. And I'm kind of thinking about brush directionality too. I'm being sort of smooth with my brush directionality. Because again, I want sort of a smooth finish, so I'm coming back up and blending. This is a really nice look, and you'll find it's quite satisfying on the canvas. Also flipped my canvas because I have this lip on my easel and I wanted to make sure that everything was even. Brush, 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 brush. The width of my brush is helpful here.
Yeah.
Because it gives me a nice smooth result. Choo, 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 choo. Now that this is all really well painted, that's craftsmanship. I'm going to take a sip of my honey lemon water.
And you're going to change that water, huh? Because there's a
yeah.
lot of red there.
There was
red.
too much red there, and it's going to mess with my black and white pigment. And enough of the red is going to be kind of glowing through the paint, which is actually an effect I'm going for. Because I want to give her a very gray aspect, but I want this sort of weird under red event where little bits of the red show through as I'm painting it in. Kind of a folk effect. And so, but I don't want her skin to be pink at all.
Right. Interesting. So
I'm like that.
Good.
I'm like that. I'm going to dry it.
You going to try it again? Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
hard
good.
to transfer an image on paper if
That's true.
if I don't try it again.
So while she's drying that, I won't put the bubbles up there while she's doing that because we don't want to make little things. But I will say, this week, man, we got more paintings coming up this week. I don't exactly know what the schedule is, but I can probably go look and tell you guys as we go here. I know that we have Elvira coming up, and we have who else have I seen that she hasn't put up yet? See, I'm not going to be very good at this game. So what I will say is if you go out to our website, we have a calendar posted up there, and if you go to TheArtSherpa.com/Sherpa Halloween, then you'll find Lisa's put together this wonderful page. As a matter of fact, I will go out there right now while I'm telling you about this. Got this wonderful page that has a list of all of the things that we have going on over the 13 days of Halloween. So, Sherpa, hey, look, I can do that. And you got there. So, hey, look, check that out. Tomorrow we got the Black Cat coming up. That's coming up on October 5th. And then October 6th is Lily Munster. And then the 7th is Elvira. Oh, then the 8th we have the Vampire Teeth. Then a Spooky Ghost, Sugar Skull. And on the 11th, Morticia. Then the Sanderson Sisters, leading right up to the 13th where we're going to be doing our pumpkin carve. And all that information, along with the links and all the important information, are in the description below. Or you can go out to TheArtSherpa.com/Sherpa Halloween, and you can find all that stuff there. Now, down at the bottom of that page, what's also really cool is the and actually, it's the all of the past projects that are there. And I was just curious if while she's doing this, what I might be. Oh no, she's back.
I bet you're stressed.
No, I was just going to see if I could pull up the...
Where did my tape go?
Your what?
I had my tape over here.
Tape. I don't know.
I did. I had the whole roll of tape over here.
I believe you had tape.
There it is. It vanished and then it popped back into
All
existence. That's always helpful. That's what I believe happened.
So I was just explaining. We had this. I was just pulling up our own website, and I was looking at all of the stuff that Lisa had put up there on the Sherpa Halloween page.
Yeah.
And I was going to see if I could show it to everybody, but you came back, so we're all good.
You can show. I don't mind because I'm
You're
lining this up.
You're going to show us how to
yeah.
transfer
So
this.
I've got my transfer paper here, and I have my Saral waxless transfer paper right here in black. I've chosen this because it will look nice with her black skin, and I do black outlining on her. So I have a link in the description below this time to the transfer paper. Oh no, I'm going to sneeze. Turn me off. Turn me off.
Okay, I turned her off. She's going to sneeze. She's going over. She's stuck off camera to sneeze too, which is very funny. So, she was even warning me earlier. She was like, I'm going to sneeze today, and I was like, well, do you want your mute button? And she was like, I'll never get to it in time. You're going to have to do it for me. I'm bringing her back. There she is.
Back to this job that I do. So I'm going to I don't have to worry about the whole of her. I really only have to worry about where her face, where I'm focusing on her detail is, right? So when I'm lining up the paper, that's all I've got to think about is just make sure that I get this where I get the majority of her. Now, it can smear or smudge on your canvas a little bit, but I have to say the nice thing about this transfer paper is, unlike other transfer papers that don't transfer on acrylic, this does. And if you're doing like complicated drawings and it took you a long time to get that drawing and you really, really don't want to have to redraw, this is some good stuff. Good stuff. But you know, I've shown you guys the handmade kind several times.
Mm-hmm.
Also good stuff.
Multicolor has proven to be useful.
Oh, I really like it. I really like this stuff, guys. My mom recommended it, and in this one instance, she's right. Just this one. Don't go telling her she was right, because then it'll just be on. And then every home remedy she's ever found, she's going to make me try. Okay, I thought I put my... Yes, I did. So how I'm going to get this on there is I'm going to take this little colored pencil. This is just a Prismacolor colored pencil pink. You could use really anything you have. And I'm going to just very carefully draw over my drawing.
You trace over all that?
Just trace over all that. Right? I've taped everything down, and the reason I tape it down is because it likes to move, and that just ruins your transfer. You know?
Yeah.
That just ruins it. Again, this is the step. You would want to leave your canvas white, transfer, paint red around everything, and take the red up into about here.
Where to?
If you're using economy paint, like up until just below the fingers.
Ah, okay.
Okay? If you're using economy paint. Because the economy paint won't do the effect. It just won't. But it's not bad stuff. And hey, we've got to respect our budgets, right? So you just think, okay, so there's a technique, there's a method, there's a way. You learn your technique, your method, and your way. And then you make it work, like Tim Gunn says on Project One Way. Make it work. Work it, girl. All right. Coming on the inside eye here. So I love these sort of big eyes.
Mm-hmm.
These big eyes. Right? We have, as people, for a really long time in history, liked ourselves a big-eyed thing. We just do. Little Byzantine dolls, all big-eyed.
Do you happen to have that Saral paper box thing with you?
No.
It's okay. We'll put a...
It's Saral, and again, there's an affiliate link above the canvas.
So down in the description below?
Down in the description below. So you guys can click it and see it. You don't even have to get it from there at all or anything. But you'll know what it is.
Yep.
All right. If eyebrows are not your friend, you can always do these in, just so you know where they were.
Now, does this paper rub off when you put your hand on it?
Yes, and I'm very heavy-handed, which means I rest my hand on my canvas to steady myself. It's such a problem. Look, hopefully you're a light-handed person and don't have to worry about these things. I am not that lucky.
So you end up with a little bit of it coming off?
I do, and I'll have to clean it up in a second. Now, I'm going to put in her hair and then add these objects as I paint, right? Because I'm very confident at being able to put them back in.
Mm-hmm.
So I will just layer those up. You can make a decision about how confident you are in this area or not. Mr. Skullface. Boy, there's been a lot of Skullfaces this Halloween. Secret champion of this Halloween is Mr. Skullface. He's popped into the moon.
Yeah.
He's been showing up everywhere. I'm super excited about my hand here.
Yeah. Thing.
Little thing here. I really liked how Thing had character.
Yeah. You're just tracing that on.
Yes, I'm just tracing this on. You know, just tracing this on so that I like to work out all my design on paper, on inexpensive paper, and then when it's all resolved and I really like it, then I like to transfer it on canvas. I find that process to be really helpful and effective. So right now I'm just checking for any lines that I missed, Because if I miss them, then once I pull this off, they won't be there. Which is not really a mystery. I love this little guy. My little transfer. Let's see how this came out. Not too many smudgies.
It seems like a little fuzzy.
Fuzzy? No, it's probably just the black on the red.
Yeah, it's the black on the red is like...
I was going to do blue on the red, but then I was like, why? I'm a little under the weather today. Why would I aggravate myself? So I can use clean water to clean this up, or in this case, I'm going to just go ahead and use some red pigment too. So this is my red, right? You can just use clean water if you want to. However you want to get through. And on this one, I really thought the black would be very diminutive on this background, and I called it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you still want another coat, it won't hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You won't be harmed by it. Now, oh, I really like this. So I'm pretty happy with how this is going. So I'm going to flip my canvas around. I don't really use my red again for the whole thing. And I'm going to put out just right now some black. Some white. Where did I put my zinc white?
In the bucket with all the other whites?
In the bucket. No, I don't think so. Right, and I'm going to, I don't get into my greenish black or my bluish black for a minute. So first I'm going to just work her face in.
Okay.
I'm going to get my number 4. And what I'm going to tell you is that there's almost 4 values of, so what we're going to do is we've got to find the values on her face. This is a highlight here, highlight, highlights, and a highlight, right? This is a deep shadow. Deep shadows. There's a shadow here, a deep one under the nose, mid-grade. So that's what we're going to be looking for, is about 4 shades of gray. Not 50, 4. Had to make the joke. Could not do it. Just going to have it. So I'm just going to work my black and white right now. And I'm going to peek over here. Thank you for my zinc, and it is there. When I'm doing faces, I like my zinc too, because it's a transparent opalescent white, and it can give me some nice blending if I'm needing it, which I probably will. And I may even put out some glazing medium again. Now this, and I have a post about this in our Facebook group, is a glaze, and it slows the drying time of your paint. Right? So when they say extender in paints, they mean 2 things. Sometimes it makes your pigment go further. That's one thing that they're saying. And then sometimes what they're saying, this is sort of a mid-gray, I'm going to come along or my little jawline here. And behind my little eye. And down my neck, creating a shadow under here. So they're saying it makes the paint go further, or they're saying it slows the drying time down. So it can make reading those very difficult. I have a whole little post about that just to help out. Because that's not your fault. So do you see how vibrant this is against the red?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm sort of looking for here. So like black and white coming along. Little darker value under the neck here. And where the red is popping, that's desirable to me. Number 4 cat's tongue, you could be using a bright, a round. It's all good. Whatever you need to use. I just really like this. So that's what I'm doing. On the neck, I'm going to stroke across. See?
Are there any suggestions if you don't have zinc white?
Yeah, just, you can use a little glaze. You can do thinner, more transparent coats, or dry brush it.
Okay.
Right? And I'm not going to, I have this out just in case it's hard. I'm going to be reserved about it so you guys don't feel like you can't do it without it.
Okay.
Honestly, sometimes a really, 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 really cheap white will perform like a zinc. If you think about it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because it doesn't have very good coverage. But the zinc is more than that. There's a whole quest on like why are there so many whites and are they really necessary? Which, yeah, sadly they are. I'm going to come around the chin here because she's got a little chin shadow. Now, I do an interesting thing with the nose. My little glaze out because it's drying on me already. Acrylic paint dries really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to kind of come between the eyes like you do. And the nose is like got its own highlight. And so I make a little shadow here to give this more youthful appearance. Some of the things that I did to make the face seem younger is all the features are closer together.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing when you're thinking about how do I make this feature? I'm going to come right under my eye. Where I've got rounded planes of face, I'll pay attention to my brushstroke and try to mimic that. Now I'm going to come up here. I might paint my eyebrows out because I feel pretty confident I can put them back in. You may or may not feel confident that you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, that's okay. I'm going to try to be careful around my...
Now, once you painted that part in, you could like maybe reuse your tracing paper and...
Yes, you can. You can actually line it back up, and that's why it's nice tracing paper is see-through. So you can line your tracing paper. You line your tracing paper back up and tape that down, and then put your transfer paper on.
Ah. And then you can put the eyebrows back in if you want.
You can. Yes, that's totally doable.
That'd be useful.
It's very useful. So I'm just trying to get this. I did her skin color in gray because she's so fair, and I didn't add any rosiness to it because I knew the red would be here, but it would give it this sort of very intense, sort of Penny Dreadful feel. And I wanted that. I wanted a little bit of the Penny Dreadful, the Jasmine Beckwith, just a little off. Okay, going. So I've got some nice basic color here. I'm going to wipe my brush, but not remove the pigment, and I'm going to get my white. And I'm going to make a light gray, but I do need it to be gray. Just a shade lighter. See?
Mm-hmm.
Then the other one there, you can see those two shades. And I'm pulling the paint out. And the nose, I'm going to paint her little nose in. Right? In this lighter color. Like you do. See the lighter color?
Yeah.
And that is going to help me define her nose.
Now, what brush are you using there?
I'm using a number 4 cat's tongue because it gives me a lot of brushes when I don't have to change out often. That's all that's happening. Now, right here on the forehead, I'm going to add just this lighter aspect right here. See that?
Yeah.
And I'm being loose and brushy about it. And see, it's streaky. There's some red showing through. We're doing the full... This is a very kind of folk art effect. Gonna come here with a little bit of highlight above the brow. And also, I'm going to want one on the inside corner of the eye. Yeah. You know, while I'm at it. See, inside corner of the eye. While I'm at it.
So Tommy was curious. She says, is it better to start dark and go light or do the opposite?
Okay, so I grew up on the go dark, start light. But what I found, as I've been out in my little art world for a while and talked to a lot of different artists about their processes, is that what's best, okay, in watercolor, you're pretty much committed to one process. But in acrylic, you have a lot of flexibility. So you will see artists block in maybe their highlights first, and then you'll see other artists block in their darks first. I'm more confident often blocking in my darks, but I don't want to say that one process is essential over another.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, that does. Have a little tea there.
Got a little highlight here and a highlight here and a little highlight up here in the forehead so I know where that is. And then I can come and, you know, think about these little cheekies. That's too highlighted. Be like, oh my goodness.
She was standing in a bright light.
She was standing in too bright of a light. So I've just added a little darker pigment to it so I don't lose what I've got. And I'm going to come just make sure that, and if I need to, my glazing medium will help me. Just a little bit here. Blocking in this face. This is called, you know, you're blocking it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I kind of have this space in, then I'm going to come back. I'm going to get a slightly darker gray here.
This is definitely that questionable under
your painting
phase
will for sure have a not pretty stage. Don't tell Wednesday. She takes it personally because she knows she's fabulous. And she will have none of your nonsense. But yeah, it's going to have a little moment. This is going to take some layers to get this style.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But see this here?
Yeah.
So now what do we have in? We have, and you can come back and you know, blend here. Blendy blend. This is also a good ear color. So you can come in the side and put in some ears. You know, because she has those. She's a listener and a plotter. And you're going to be coming back with her hair, so if she gets out of hand, you can always kind of work her back. I'm going to just I'm blending over here on this cheek. So what I want is a nice sort of highlight at the cheek, but I need to step those. So I'm coming around the nose. So I'm softening everything.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. We did this for Daenerys. This is just another way of getting this done. Now, a thing I like to do at this stage, if I can, and I will, I'm going to put out some of my fluid carbon black. So many blacks. There are many blacks. Also a quest about that whole video about why there's so many blacks. And while I'm just sitting here, I am going to very carefully come in and outline some of this stuff that I have. See around the face? Just very carefully. At some point I may be getting into my not so fabulous glasses.
I like your glasses.
They need to be blinged.
You do need bling.
They need to be blinged. I'm okay with them, they just need to be blinged.
You need some rhinestones.
So I'm going to just make sure that I have this nice grounding lining. I find it very, very helpful. Then I'm going to do a nice little line along the eye, in the crease. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
You may come back and be putting this back a couple of times, but this is like, you know how like if you're on a spacewalk, you have a tether,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't just float into space? This be your tether, mateys.
Your tether.
Yeah, because apparently Pirates, the Disney treasure movie is what I had in my mind. Space Pirates. I'm going to go ahead and outline this, a very dark outline.
Now, your go-to black seems to be Mars black.
Well, I like Mars black. They don't really do that in fluid paint, so I use the carbon black in fluid. Mars black is a very strong black. It's a nice black. You like it? You don't have to be perfect here. You're just saying these spaces exist, and these are some objects in these spaces, right? And And then by taking, it's interesting, you're like, why aren't you doing the pupil? Because that's real easy to put in, but you're going to be coming back with like this crazy kind of eye here.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need the foundation. I'm going to definitely do the lips. So we did a doll mouth, but we made a point of making sure our doll mouth was not smiling.
She's pursed. Perhaps displeased.
No, it's just her style. Well, yes, she is always displeased. Now I'm going to come up very gently on the slope of the nostril and underneath. Very gently. And I like to take a shadow under the nose, see? Down to the divot. Maybe a little soft line up the ball. And that's how we get that button. It's okay to put a little shadow here. I'm also going to get into my black more. I'm going to add some glaze to it because it's drying on me like crazy. And I'm going to come under here and shade here. This darker value. See? Shading under the neck. Coming across. See the stroke, how it kind of brushes in a little circle?
Yeah.
It's brushing in a little circle. I might come over here and come right up this. You can also take a little of this under the eye. Yeah, we're coming back with some purple later, but no reason to not start working in her more soulful eyes. I would say this is later in Margaret's career, when she's been a little less chipper about what was going on. If you pay, I really wish somebody would do a very serious study of the work.
From beginning to end?
Yeah, because I think there was some real things that you could see happening as they were happening.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, so I'm just making sure that, I've got the nice openings, and I've got that there, and that's pretty wonderful. So right now, she's an interesting look. I shared some of this on Twitter when I was doing it. I was like, in progress.
Yeah.
It's so interesting in the black and white
It's very
stage.
glowy.
Mm-hmm.
The CAD's very glowy.
That's its job. That's what it does. That's why anybody bothers with it. We all bother with the CAD because it's super, super glowy. So I'm going to take my black and my white. I'm going to soften this line here. And I'm going to come add a bit more white into my mix. And I'm going to create a little neck highlight right here. Just a little bit of one, and soften it between the two. If you need to come back with some black, there we go. Just a little highlight, right? You can even come back with the interesting thing when you see the zinc, it just softens everything. So you can use glaze. You can keep just working your values of black and white. I highly recommend, if you're landscape painting, any of the painting you're doing, if you can get zinc and glazing medium, do. But it's okay if you can't. I'm going to come here. I've lost a little bit of my line, so I'll have to put it back in, but I want to put in a highlight on this inner eye, like you do. And then I'm going to want to maybe just a little bit right here. Highlight that, and just a little bit at the lid, on this inner lid. Let's come add some highlight to this forehead. Oh my goodness. Let's get some zinc and just give her a little bit of a nice highlighted forehead. I didn't go ahead and do the whole Frida unibrow. I think the positioning and the composition of the painting was more where I pulled into Frida's space than, you know, a lot of artists go, okay, it's a unibrow, and I don't know. I think I got different stuff about her work, being about her health conditions and her space, and then, you know, she was just really, really into being super truthful in those places,
Yeah.
and So she wouldn't have added something that wasn't there. So I'm trying to pull into that space artistically, but not rely on the gimmick of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not just go unibrow. Now
Right.
you know it's Frida. I don't want to be that heavy-handed. Though I think thing instead of the monkey is genius.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Because you really have to be into the work to get that. So I'm just taking this zinc white, and you can see I'm just making sure that we've got some blending and some highlights there. Now let's get some softened out cheeks. See how we're softening that out? A little too dark a pigment. I'm going to pull back into it. Soften that out. Just keep it chill, man. See, I'm just softening this out. You still see the glow of the red, though. I don't know how close you can get up on this so that they know how much they would still be seeing their red.
Okay, so you can really see that there's some red showing through there.
And there should be. But again, there's enough pigment in this to make this particular look. If you were painting a really inexpensive paint, you might just have streaking over red, which is why I was like, just go ahead and do the white. So I'm just pulling the zinc, and you can see how I'm softening the space. See it softening? Not cool how it does that? And I'm just tapping in, and I'm just softening all these lines. Acrylic plays a hard... This is the hardest part of the whole painting is your face, which is why we're doing it first. Believe it or not, thing goes in a second.
Okay, give me just a second. Hold on, just a second. You just have to be. We're wait here just a second. Okay, it says good again.
Good. Hi guys. Hopefully
Okay.
it didn't go way too long.
It didn't go way too long. I think what happened was that there was some weird reset there. So
Now let's lighten this all up because color shift. Make
Yep.
sure that your skin tone. I'm gonna grab some zinc and come through and lighten it all up. See how we're lightening the gray up? We're coming up with another layer of
yeah.
lighter gray. Lighten up our skin tone. Right? Soften and lighten. Soften and lighten. Too much, so I'm going to wipe off my brush and come back and just kind of push that down. I know I can work that back. So don't worry about that. Just lightening it up with a lighter gray. Making sure that blend is... I'm going to keep it fairly dark right here.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to lighten, lighten, lighten. Maybe a scotch smidge. Glazy medium. Just lighten it. Just lighten it. See how we're doing? Lightening. So you're just playing with your blacks and whites, your grays. And that lets you do a lot, doesn't it? I like to get into the ears a little bit too. See right there? And a little bit at the tip of the ear right here. And come back and get a little of my white and just make sure I have a nice blush, a nice white blush on my cheek. A good undead pallor is so hard to hit these days. So this is just, if you know what to expect about how you get there, then it's so much easier to do. So I'd say I'd have one last little highlight that I can hit right here. So I've got a little pigment on the brush, but I'm picking up some white. So it's pretty light, but not the lightest light. And just right here at the neck. So see how we have these shades of gray?
Yeah.
In my nose. All right. Still do that. Touch that all up. I like to come along this lid quite often and just redefine some of that.
Huh.
I'm not going to worry about the eyebrows till I get my hair in. Just want to make sure when I go to, because I'm going to start working the eyes, and I just want to make sure that is all solid and in space.
Yeah.
Now, arg! Where did I put my Indian yellow? Okay, so I'm going to put out, you know what? Hey, I'm not gone.
Meow.
It was really weird.
What are you picking up over there?
I think I'm getting my burnt sienna and my Indian yellow. So we got a little burnt sienna here that I'm going to put And this is just the... So, interesting fun fact, Matisse, Australian sienna, Indian yellow, same thing. Putting out way more than I need to put out for her eyes. For her eyes, I am. And I'm going to maybe even, if I need to get into, I'm going to get a round brush because I'm going to need a smaller tip.
Okay.
So I'm going to get a number 4. I'm going to go ahead and change water.
Some clean water.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little black.
Sounded like you were going to sneeze there.
Almost. I get there. But it's not sneezy now. It's just stuffy.
You-
I'm fine.
You're
I
fine.
teach art. It's fine. You guys still learn. So I'm coming along here, and I'm going to go around with this deep brown. All right. Turned me off.
Give her a sneeze moment. Oh, and she has little sneezes, little pa-choot sneezes. You ready to come back now? All right, she's more sneezing still, she says. She says, more sneezing. More sneezing from there. You all back now?
I think so.
Okay, we'll bring you back.
Okay. I'm all back now.
You're back.
You're so funny. Cute sneezes. They are not. John is lying to you. He just doesn't want you to know how bad it is because he's afraid you'll unsub.
No.
So here we go. Is this lovely? It's coming around here, making sure that this is quite dark right there. It's nice to create that base. It's a good base. Now in the eyes, I'm actually, interestingly enough, going to take a little of my yellow into this brown and black mixture. So I have my burnt sienna, and I've taken a little black over here, and I'm going to add a little of this yellow to it. And I'm going to get some of my white. And I want it to be super light. So sometimes I have to rinse off. It's just a tint, right? A little more black. Ah, there we go. See, it's just a little gray, but there's that warmth of yellow. So see how light?
Yeah.
Let's come on in here and paint this underneath. Now, there's the red of the eye. Got the zinc on here. You could use the titanium white. This is coat 1. Actually, I might switch over to titanium white. And it needs to be quite grayed. And see, I'm just coming through on just the tip. So I switched to a round brush because a round brush is going to turn the corner like I want. Think of it like how, changing cars, when you're on Top Gear. I don't know, that may not be a good analogy, but I thought I should stop music analogies. I like to make analogies with things I don't know anything about.
That's okay.
It is. It's better than making a YouTube channel on a subject I don't know anything about, like spelling. That would be very tragic, wouldn't it?
I don't know. It could be really good. Who knows?
I'm sure it's been
It's the
done.
YouTube world. I'm sure we could do a search on it and find out.
I imagine there's people like, let's have a spelling channel. How hard could it be? All right, so I'm going to get back into my black and white mixture, and I'm going to mix a little of my white and black together. And I'm going to add some of this yellow brown to that. Right? Because inside the eye, I want it to be just a little different than the external, and I'm going to do the tear duct right here.
Mm.
Little tear duct right here. Little soulful Wednesday tear duct action. Super important.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to get a little of my white on my brush. Come back. Right? And you can get a little more black as you're darkening it. And this outer part of the eye is quite dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. Come around the point and bring it down. You're going to learn a lot about makeup now. And I'm going to go ahead and just blend that down because I need her to be soulful.
Mm.
See, very Keane, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Keane, you know, height of his success, peak of her. Seriously, you've got to look at the whole collection sequentially. You will see it. You will see it. You'll see what's happening. You'll see.
Yes.
Anyhow, so I've got this under here, and then I can always come back with my black, just my pure black fluid paint. Look. And clean it up. And that's just, you're going to be doing that a few times, is coming and cleaning it up. There we go. Cleaning it up. I'm not doing lashes, though, so that's good news. Isn't that always good news? No lashes is always good news. To me.
To you.
To me. There we go. Doing pretty well. So this is all really good around here. Back into a little bit of my yellow and my brown with a bit of my black. Makes this sort of warm, see that warm neutral color right here?
Yeah.
Make it some white on there. A little more black. So the way to give a highlight to the eye, right, will be that this is so kind of deep here that when I pop the highlight, it'll really pop. And the red, grab some glaze to just improve my flow. So see how we're doing? Pretty fun stuff. Now when I have that all in, and I'm feeling pretty good about it, I'm going to come get a little of my Mars Black and my glaze. This is my thing. I love doing this thing. I'm going to cast a shadow under the lid and across the eye. Sort of transparent. See it? Cast a shadow under the lid and across the eye. Casting shadows. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
It's lovely. You know, and you can come here with this gray, and you can come, I like to come right here, shadow that. You can go ahead and give some shape. See, I'm brushing that down, shaping the eye. Super cool stuff. This is like the jam. I'm just pay attention to eyes all day. All day.
All day.
All day. All day that could happen. I pay attention to some eyes. I just loaded up with black. I'm going to come. See? Go back and give that some love. She's pretty fabulous right now.
Yeah.
She's pretty amazing, but she could be more amazing. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to very carefully load up my brush with the black. And I'm going to come around her eye very carefully and outline. Very carefully. Because I don't want to lose the white. Right? I may even darken my little shadow here. I'm going to come around and outline. Again, the good news is the hair, the dress, everything else goes in real quick. This is where all the work is. Give a little shadow too. Just make sure that's shaded. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put out my phthalo blue, my diox purple. I think I have enough cad red out to be good for under the eyes. I don't need my quinacridone yet, I don't think. So I'm going to take my black over to my blue.
Can you push that forward just a touch? There you go. Perfect.
My black over to my blue. I can't wait till that's where I want it to be. It's going to be so exciting. And I'm going to come in and very carefully, and this is really important, this isn't a true black. This is a blue and black inside the pupil here. See? Get a little water on the tip of my brush, swirl, swirl. Get some black, bring it over, because you want a blue-black. Blue-black on your pupil. Now, I'm going to take a little of my burnt sienna, and it's okay to actually do a little cad in it, right? And I'm going to come here on each side, on the left-hand side of the eye. Are we okay? Do we have any questions? I'm just painting along.
You're doing great.
I'm sorry.
They're really into the eyes. I'm answering some questions here also in chat, so everything's going really good.
I'm sorry. I know I've been like... So on this left-hand side, see, I take this brown right here. Now I'm going to get right into my yellow, my pure yellow. Coming under the midpoint of the iris, pull in a highlight. And, oh, it's important. Pull into that highlight. See that highlight pulling in there? You got to pull in that highlight. We're going to show you a real trick on how to like light up that highlight too. Coming around this back side with that yellow. You'd use cad if that's what you have. Use what you have. Don't stop because you don't have something. I'm going to load straight zinc on my brush. I'm going to just pop the smallest amount of that yellow with the zinc. Look.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Now, I've got my blue-black here, right? Like you do.
Yes.
Blue and black.
Blue and black.
I'm going to take a little of my zinc. There we go. See how the zinc doesn't over-tint it?
Yeah.
Tinting strength is not too great. And I'm going to come on this side. A little more of it. And create this sort of like glaze inside the pupil. See that?
Yeah.
Glaze inside the pupil. Not the whole thing. Some of the thing. Some of the thing.
Get it?
Yes?
All right. No, I was like, well, make sure you got everything there you got.
Okay. I'm going to take a little of my titanium white.
Which brush are you using?
I'm still using my number 4 round.
It's still a number 4 round.
And I'm going to add this little bit, see this, of a highlight right here.
Yeah, everybody loves the eyes so much.
Yeah, they're fun to do. See how I'm just wiggling this around and I'm making an uneven little
highlight.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're
but we're not done.
No. Well,
no, because guess what?
No hair.
Well, besides that, we've got to put of the eyes. We've got to put a little highlight right here. See that? With the white? And a little one right there. A little one right here. A little one right here. Yeah, and we're still not done. I don't know. It depends on how far you want to take the jam.
So take jam.
Right? So I
Jam.
can take a little of my docs in my cad red. And it makes this sort of, see this kind of purpley color? This sad little purpley color? I can keen eye that purple underneath here, if I want to. I don't have to. I like to. A lot of times you guys are like, I don't really get this under eye makeup thing you're doing, but good for you. So I don't take it personally when you're like, yeah, no. And while I'm here, while I've got it mixed up, my cad and my purple, I can absolutely come and put the purple color on the lips. See that? Right? See me purpling up the lips? Right here? There we go. And now you're like, oh, that's why I got a little extra room on these, because it is way easy to get out of bounds fast. Okay, so there's that and that.
Yeah.
We almost there.
Well, she seems like she needs a few more things.
Well, I'm just saying. I just got to find my way.
At least
Okay.
one thing.
So some jam that you've gotta do. Well, you don't gotta, but I would highly recommend. I like to use fluid because it flows off my brush. This is, I really like this stuff. They make little bottles of it, the titanium white in the fluid by Golden. I love it. I live for it. It's the coolest thing. I'm going to inside here, add a little reflection on the tear duct. And coming on the outside edge, add a little wet eye reflection. See it?
Yeah.
It's just makes a difference. This could have one of those little double reflections in there. See how we're doing?
Yeah.
And then you can even take a little of this, like I like to take a little dot, and then highlight your highlight. Yeah, I know, it's a lot.
Highlight
but
the
it
highlight.
makes a difference.
It's just the layers upon layers of...
Upon layers. How do you paint Wednesday Addams? A lot of layers.
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Are they okay?
Yeah, they're yes. They
are. Still
ev-
hear you lying.
Oh, no. I mean, like, we've got over 400 people here, almost 420 people here right now, just hanging out, enjoying the painting. Thank you guys for coming. We had a couple little technical bobbles that came up and down, but we seem to have surfed past them reasonably well.
Did we?
Yeah.
Survive them? I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I'm going to let that purple set a little bit. While I'm letting that purple set a little bit, I'm going to enjoy painting in. Real quick, I might as well take a little of this extra white I have before it goes.
They wanted to let you know that the paint lid to your paint's still out on the canvas. That you haven't put the lid on something. See, there's a lid right there to something.
She's looking good at least.
She's looking good.
If you really wanted to paint her and you were, wanted to invest that time, you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's always so nice to see these kinds of paintings on Pinterest, but it's even nicer to know that you can make one for yourself if you want it. I'm going to just put the color in because I have this paint out anyways. Why waste it, right? Why waste it? The brush is here and it's just all ready to go, so might as well. All right. I don't know why I'm going George of the Jungle, but
because
it happens.
It's Wednesday of the Wednesday.
Wednesday way. All right, that's wrong. Don't hate us.
Yeah, we are not a singing show.
No, I have a friend I'm trying to convince to be an art and singing show. I'm trying really hard. Every time we talk, I'm like, you need to sing and art. Trust me, it'll be great. And she's looking at me like, you're so crazy. Well, I've got this gray.
Yeah.
Before I, work all the rest of this out, I'm going to go ahead and put my first layer on my little skull dude.
Let me get up here. Hold on a minute.
It's just a mid-tone gray.
Okay.
I just like him to have a couple layers. And for his little bones to look white, I got to put in my mid-tone gray. And then when I come put in his little teethers, he just looks so good. So I just paint him in and around his little nose and eyes. And then I'll let him rest for a minute. He's got to have he's having a think. He's having a think. A think. Now, while this is all doing this, and this is still pretty good, I'm going to load up my brush and go ahead and take thing and outline thing.
All right.
I hope some of you guys go for this. It's a really fun painting.
Yes, there's lots of. I'm just reading the comments. There's a lot of wonderful chat going on out here.
Is there?
And yeah, there's lots of folks saying that they're sending messages to you on Facebook of encouragement and love, and you should definitely check all those out.
I totally will.
You do, and they just were. There's a lot of people saying, particularly today is a loving day, and they want to make sure that
we are coming to the end.
Are you?
Yeah, not too long.
It's looking like. Well, I guess the face is the biggest part of it.
Those eyes, that face, that's the whole thing.
That's
right?
the big thing, and they love
the
the eyes.
thing.
I mean, and
that's why everybody came. It's like, how you do those eyes? Let's show you. I'm going to get a little titanium white with my CAD red and my purple. I'm going to put a titanium white on it to create a highlight.
Mm-hmm.
See me just going along, I'm looking for it. When you see me doing this, is what I'm looking for is how dark or light it is. I'm toning. Because I'm adding white, I'm toning. Toning. So I'm going to come here, and in the ball of the lip, I'm going to create a little highlight. Maybe a little bit right here. Just to talk about the shape of the lip. And then at the bottom, I'm going to add a little highlight.
Yeah.
I might grab some zinc to soften it. It feels a little intense for me, but you know. See?
Yeah.
If it gets too pink, definitely go back with some purple. Because she's, not a petal pink girl. See?
Yeah.
Just make sure that they stay sort of dark and hellebores. Because she's wearing hellebores. There we go. There we go. Got it there. See how we got it there?
Yeah.
Yay.
That's looking pretty cool.
It's looking pretty cool. The hand is sort of interesting.
Oh,
I have a palette knife here? Okay. So the hand is basically, I like to make my Payne's Gray, which you guys know is my 1 part black, 1 part blue. And you may not know that because you could be here for the first time. 1 part black, 1 part blue is palette knife. I'm thoroughly mixing this so that the blue is not popping. It's, throughout the whole thing. And I like to take a little of this. I like to make sure it's pretty blue. So that'll be my shadow color right there. And I like to come under here carefully. Paint thing. I want a thing to be different than her. Does that make sense? Not the same gray. And I didn't want thing to be pink. So it was a real interesting series of decisions that I had to make. I'm going to go ahead and drag this across so I can shade it out. And it's nice to have, this is actually really good if you're struggling with hands trying to understand how you're doing them. Shadows where the fingers touch. See how I'm doing shadows where the fingers touch?
Yep.
I'm not going to take the shadow way up into the hand because that would imply the knuckles in a really strange place. Right? And I can be pretty heavy on the shadow there. And then I'm going to get a little more white into my mix. Here we go. Dashing this back into the hand, but not completely. I'm dipping in water to improve flow because my paint's been out forever. Alright, just coming along here. If your acrylic paint is drying very quickly, that's normal. Conditions really affect acrylic paint quite a lot, and that's its whole feature, is that it dries fast. So I'm just using this number 4 cat's tongue to sort of paint in this area. Gives me a lot of angles to work. But you're just trying to, so I'm just getting that all painted in. Letting the black lines also help me. The red underneath adds a whole dimension to this. I'm going to take this halfway up here. Maybe a second little coat a couple places so it's nice and rich, especially around the knuckles. And then one more value up. Right? because we're basically shading a tube here. The top of the hand in front of where the knuckles are needs to have a highlight, see?
Mm-hmm.
See? Bugsy Siegel says see. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm getting those highlights in. Where they would go. And at the top here of this hand. See that?
Yeah.
So these values come together and help me find my hand. And if anything gets away from me, you can always come back and paint it back. I'm going to add this weird little quinacridone, but there's no point in doing it until I do the flowers.
Okay.
So, just saying. I'm going to, because this is all drying on me like crazy, put this up for a second.
Right.
Well, forever. We'll just own that you guys know what's happening now.
So we're gonna paint the flowers in next? Is
Gotta
that
put the rest of her shirt in.
Oh, yeah.
And then her hair and flowers. So her shirt I did as phthalo green and black.
Mm-hmm.
With a little bit of, every once in a while, a little white in it to kind of highlight the weirdness of the gray.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I went and looked through a bunch of footage and was like, what could I do that would be very Wednesday fashion? Because she's a fashion-forward girl, like she is. All right, so take some green, right?
Mm-hmm.
1 part green. So there we go, mixing that in. 1 to 1 should give us a very green-looking black.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, my nose. I'm okay. So I'm going to load. I've got a number 8 bright here. I'm going to dip. See how I dip? And pull out. That's because I'm trying to improve the fluidity of my paint. Right? And there we go. Over the red, because green and red are contrasts. It looks like jet black, by the way.
It does kind of look.
It's a very interesting thing, but we've got this black hair we've got to put over it, and so this is a way that she can have a black shirt and black hair and have these different value sets, right? Because the black on her hair is a cool thing. Other thing I'm doing is notice I'm pulling it down and letting it kind of be rough and rustic there, right? That's also what helps this painting get its feeling. This portrait style, by the way, I've done this on all my kids, works really well.
Yeah.
To do portraits of your kids, I've done this. It's super fun.
Yes, it's true. You have.
I have. They all have some version of this, not Wednesday Addams with the dead hand, but some version that reflects them.
There's lots of other ideas. In here, they're like, oh, we would love to see Lurch and Gomez and Morticia.
Well, we do see Morticia later on.
We get to see Morticia. You have a Morticia coming up.
Yeah, I do. We all get to paint Morticia. She's one of our ladies.
Yeah, Morticia is October 11th. That'd be next week.
Next
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. See?
It was tied. It's almost like we thought about that in advance.
When I add a little white to this,
oh, it does green a bit more.
Then you can see the green, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. Come to the end here and get a nicer edge finish. So I'm going to just make sure that my brush finishes a nice kind of... I want the canvas underneath to show. It's the pop between the contrasts that are going to really, really work. And I'm going to want this to be quite dark. So if I have to come back with a second coat here and pull it in, I will. I've got time. And notice I painted back on my braid a bit on the traceable, and I can add more black into it as I'm pulling it down. Coming through here. You can always put your white back if you bite into it. It's the hand I don't want to repaint. It's the hands you don't want to repaint. See how that second coat just like totally makes it work?
Yeah.
So it's the steps. A lot of times something will happen like you're putting your highlights in, it goes all mint on you, you freak out. Goes all mint on you. That went crazy on me there, so I have to fix that finger, which I didn't want to have to do, but now I'm gonna. Rinse that out. Put out a smidge of blue.
A smidge? Is that
Yeah,
a technical
it's
measurement?
a technical measurement.
A technical measurement of a smidge.
And I'm going to get my number 4. I just got to thicken my finger back up.
Number 4, what is it?
Cat's tongue.
Cat's tongue. Okay.
And I'm going to make my blue and black, my Payne's gray again with a little bit of white back to that original color.
Is this a fixing thing?
Yeah, look here. It overbit the pinky.
Oh, yeah, just a touch.
Uh-huh. And it looks weird.
So you're fixing that right there.
I got to fix it. I don't want to ignore it. So I'll go back and fix it.
I actually wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't told me.
Somebody would have.
That it was like,
They would have shared
the
it with me.
finger is gone.
Yeah, you can always go back and put
But
something
now it's
back in.
back.
You can. You can always go back and put something back in.
They're chatting about how another remake of the Addams Family would be awesome.
It would. They're about ready. They need to do it, right?
It's a timely time. Okay. It's about that time again.
As long as you're happy, right? You know, I might have to fix the bites on my shirt.
Are you putting a little more white so the red doesn't show through quite as much?
No, it's that some of the green bit into it. But yes, also that. So you have to decide too how much the red do you want to show through. Do you want? I like the little pops of red showing through. That's a whole thing for me.
It kind of makes it look that interesting.
I'm adding a little black to my white on my cat's tongue. I'm going to come up here and just make sure that my skull looks like a skull.
It's very scully.
I'm going to even come right here and go dash, 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 dash for the teeth. See that?
Uh-huh.
Now you could leave the skull eyes red and nose red if you want to. I'm going to do them black, but you could leave them red. Your choice. It's your choice, man. Now I'm going to treat myself to my carbon black to put in the braid. So she is as scary as the mother of dragons, but maybe not quite as hard.
Right.
Go ahead and put in some right here.
Those do look nice.
Make sure I'm underneath this correctly.
Dawn says that they're doing an Addams Family as a series on Netflix soon.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I did not know that.
And it makes me super happy. Tell you what. Because then my daughter will know what the heck I'm talking about. So I'm just painting in her hair initially, all black with this black. It's carbon. You could use your Mars black. Any black you're using is fine. I like the fluid because if you'll notice when I make a brush stroke, it's self-leveling.
Oh, yeah.
It's different than heavy-bodied paint. This has the same pigment as my heavy-bodied paint. Exact same pigment. It just self-levels. See?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. And I like the look. Could have used either, and they'd both be fine. The only really thing where you go real wrong as an artist is if you're just not happy with the results you're getting and it's not coming out. Like I've had artists be like super unhappy with stuff on their painting where I was like, I would love it if it came out like that. How'd you do it? Because I'd like to do that on purpose on my canvas. And they look at you like you're crazy, but then they get it, so then they share with you, and then you're like, thank you, that's my next show. All right. So on the braid, And I did one braid showing forward. It was a big vacillation. Basically, I like to match the little pearl shapes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so when I'm coming down, the first one's pretty big. So you see the little pearl shape. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to make a little, kind of little leaf, see?
Mm-hmm.
And then I paint that in. And another one of those. And I'm going to do that all the way down here.
It's very dark there.
It is, and it's going to need its highlight to be seen.
Yeah, I can just barely see it there on the screen.
There we go. And I'm going to take that right off.
Oh, where are you going there?
Just painting in the rest of the hair. All the rest of the hair. Black. Black. Black as night. And her little bleak heart.
It's very true.
And her heart grew 3 sizes smaller that day, and her mom was so proud. Sorry. Really like these paintings.
I'm really pleased with how this one turned out.
I could do a whole bunch in this style. This makes me super happy. Don't be surprised if more show up.
Right.
Sorry that they take a while, but they're really awesome to do. Alright, so we're coming around this ear. And I'm just, you know, again, the fluid paint's helping me here. Because it's just coming off my brush. Right? The brush, you know, I load it, I go pull and load and pull and load. The quality of the brush does that for me. And then when I come through here, the fluid paint helps. So it's just a little symphony of things working out well. And this braid is behind. Because, you know, thing needs a place to sit.
It's true.
It does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my blue, a little black, and my blue, blue, and a little white. I'm going to come right here on the outside. And just make some hairlines. See those? And then some braid. So this is how I highlight for braid. I just highlight the top of the hair and indicate the direction of the pull. You see that? There we go. That's a little too light, so I'm going to come back in and get a little darker. If it gets away from you, you can always put it back in. See, that's how we're doing that. You can always come and, you know, put any of that back. Didn't go where you wanted it to. You can also come back in. I'm going to get a little white.
Highlight it some more.
Highlight some more. When in doubt, highlight more. You can add just a smidge here. Alright?
Yeah.
So now we have the hair and we have that. I'm going to go back into my round and I'm going to put out my diox and my quinacridone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to use off the white that I have. Oh, good, that was diox.
It looks purpley.
And a little green and a little... I'll put my Indian yellow back out. You can use your cad yellow. Either one will do. Where did I put my Indian? There it is. Oh, and I've got some green out, so I'm good. I should be able to finish this sucker off with what I got. With what I got. Do, 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 do. With what I got. Do, 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 do. Okay. So that's y'all's fault because you keep sharing that with me on Facebook. So I'm going to make a very dark purple, but I'm going to add some quinacridone to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just working this along. And how I do this is I just do these little circles. Swirl. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come here and make a nice bigger friend. It's a little swirl. And at first, they're just ugly purple swirls. Super frustrating and not cute. But, you know, it takes a minute to grow a Helleborus.
I don't know anything about those. I have sort of a not green thumb.
Well, before we had kids, we had Helleborus in the shade garden.
Oh, yeah, I guess you did. I facilitated digging holes.
You did. You were super helpful. Thank you. All right. So when I have those in, I can come get a little of my white. And then I like to just go around. See?
They're loving this. I think
Catch the little highlights in those little flowers. Tomorrow is a super easy day.
Yeah.
That's very important to note. Look at that. See?
Melody.
Flowers out of nowhere. Super fun. You can just do whole bouquets of these.
The cat's much easier.
Huh?
Cat is a much easier painting.
Cat is so easy. Cat's a one hoot.
Oh, good.
And it's also eye-centric. And Lily Munster is going to be pretty easy, too. If you feel like you need more pigment, you can always go back in with a little pink. I am suggesting pink on, or purple. Just like if you lose the definition of your flower, like these just ended up being a little lost over here, and then you go back and you get your white again, and then it's just easy to put back in. So don't feel stuck on these. See, it just takes very little.
Yep.
Rinse this out. Now, I got my little green here. I'm going to get a little of my Indian yellow into that. See, this is all loosely mixed.
Yep.
A little white. There we go. Let's give it some leaves. So I'm going to plant my brush and pull a couple here.
This is almost like a one-stroke technique almost.
This is a lot like a one-stroke technique.
Where you're just mixing up a bunch of paint on the brush and
Yep.
getting it to...
I'm just letting it do its thing. You know, just wherever you feel like a little leaf, little poisonous looking little leaf should be. Don't eat it.
Don't, yeah.
All right. Just wherever you want one. And then when you feel like she's how you like, you should give her some eyebrows.
Yeah, we were waiting to find out if you were going to put eyebrows on her.
Almost forgot.
we had with the chat and I, we were all in here. I was like, they were like, tell her she's forgot her eyebrows. And then it was like, no. Let's see how long she goes until she remembers. We won't let her forget.
All right. So I'm going to do a little curve. There we go. Just a little eyebrow. There we go. They're not up. They're not cute. They're a little furrowed. She's not pleased. Try to make sure, as best of your ability, that these are somewhere in the same place in relationship to each other.
Well, you could remember we did that trace. You could take the traceable and re-put it down on this.
You totally can.
What brush are you using there to do that
I'm
with?
just using what I was going to sign with my 3/0. You could use a number one detail. Anything that gives you a nice little fine line.
Gotcha.
I'm just...
That's...
Yeah. Little eyebrow. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. She's got some brows.
She's got some eyebrows in it.
She's got some eyebrows. Gonna turn it to the side and give her a signature. I'm just gonna say, I'm so cool that I survived today.
Well, I think it's a pretty... Well, you were a little sneezy.
It's a little bit of a cold.
You had a little sneeziness today. Oh.
I like to sign, in a way that's not disruptive to my painting.
Yeah. Wow, that turned out awesome.
Oh, you could put a little... Sorry, I know I signed it.
No, you can keep going.
It can be nice, right, to get into your Payne's Black, right, and add just a smidge right here.
Oh, where are you going? Oh,
right here.
Oh, no.
To him.
Oh,
A little bit on the top.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit of a pink in the purple, just so that there's some weird extra color in him. It's something I did in the main one. I don't want to forget. What did I do? Because sometimes these touches matter, and I hate when I don't share every touch.
So you want to lean that over for us so we can get a good look at it?
Yes.
Let's lean that over there. Oh, look at that. And you tilt her top back down just a little bit. Oh, look at that. That turned out really nice.
Oh, we painted that live.
Yeah, did that. You can zoom in and see those eyes turned out really nice.
And the eyes turned out really good. That's the important part of this whole class, the eyes.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
There you go. Wednesday Addams, a la Margaret Keane, a la Frida Khalo, a la 13 Days of Halloween. What are we doing tomorrow? A black cat with a green eye. Really simple, really easy, kind of just a couple colors. And then we got Lily Munster, and then we have Elvira. And at the end of all of this, what do we have? A live pumpkin carve.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm going to show you how to rock your pumpkins for Halloween. Listen, you guys have made this the funnest 13 days Sherpaween ever. Let's get some bubbles.
They didn't think that you danced enough today. And
I
so,
didn't. I think I've been just like, I'm on my feet and I can stay on them.
And you can paint. We had a huge crowd out here. We've had over 400 people hanging out with us this entire time. So, if you didn't get a chance to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, and now should be the time. We should be snapping and dancing and having a good time. Remember, next week, this same bat time, same bat channel will be Morticia Addams.
Yes,
That's
next
right.
Wednesday. But we got Halloween paintings dropping. Some of you guys are painting every day of Halloween with us. Inktober's cute. But we're 13 days of Halloween full paintings. No,
Yeah.
not really a thing. Both of them are really cool. They're both cool. You guys, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Don't lose hope. And I want to see you at the easel tomorrow for this really cool cat's eye. All right, bye-bye.